Laura Donnelly, who plays Elsa Bloodstone in Werewolf by Night, recently shared some thoughts about where her character might go next in the MCU. The special was a surprise hit. It wasn't your usual Marvel superhero story. Instead of focusing on just one hero, it gave us three and fully leaned into a creepy horror vibe. Michael Giacchino, best known for composing scores for The Batman and Spider-Man No Way Home, stepped in as director and brought something totally different to the table. Fans were hoping the special might hint at the Midnight Suns or other dark Marvel storylines, especially with Man-Thing popping up. While people expected Elsa to show up, no one guessed she'd become such a standout character. Elsa Bloodstone was basically the glue holding Werewolf by Night together. The whole plot revolved around the magical Bloodstone, which had been in her family for generations. It was the reason all the monster hunters showed up in the first place. Even though the title focuses on Werewolf by Night, aka Jack Russell, the story really felt like it was more about Elsa. The Bloodstone itself had some serious power. It weakened Man-Thing and forced Jack to turn into his werewolf form. For something that introduced a bunch of Marvel monsters, the stone clearly had influence over them all. So the big question now is, what exactly is the Bloodstone? And more importantly, how might Elsa and this ancient artifact shape the MCU's supernatural future? Elsa's dad, Ulysses Bloodstone, was actually the first to come across the Bloodstone way back when a supernatural meteorite crashed on Earth. He was just a caveman at the time, but in a twist of fate, he got to the stone before anyone else. In the comics, this meteorite wasn't just any rock. It was tied to an ancient force called the Exomind, which sent out a harbinger to find someone worthy of using its power. But Ulysses beat them to it. During the struggle over the meteorite, he smashed it, triggering a massive explosion that wiped out his entire tribe. A chunk of it got stuck in his chest, turning him immortal. He then made it his mission to get revenge on the Exomind for what happened. The comic version of the Bloodstone, called the Bloodgem there, is all about vengeance. The stronger your thirst for revenge, the more powerful it makes you. Ulysses only died thousands of years later because he finally got his revenge in a complex psychic showdown, and then the gem went to Elsa. In the Werewolf by Night special, we don't get the full backstory, but there are hints that Elsa resents her father. The MCU leaves a lot unsaid, but knowing the comic lore adds some weight to Elsa's presence, and shows how she and the Bloodstone could seriously shake things up in future Marvel stories. In the MCU, the Bloodstone is portrayed pretty differently from its comic version. It's still an ancient and powerful relic, but the special doesn't dive into where it actually came from. What we do know is that it can weaken monsters and force them to reveal their true forms if they're hiding, so it's clearly no ordinary rock. It now joins the ranks of the MCU's other legendary artifacts like the Infinity Stones and the Ten Rings. By the end of Werewolf by Night, Elsa ends up with the Bloodstone. With Verussa, her father's last loyal follower, killed and tossed into Ulysses' coffin, it's like she's finally severed all ties with that dark legacy. Now that she has full control of the Bloodstone and everything her father left behind, the big question is, what's she going to do with it? When Verussa asked her earlier in the special, Elsa just shrugged it off, saying it wasn't her business. But given how powerful the Bloodstone is, whatever she decides could seriously shift things in the MCU's supernatural world. Elsa Bloodstone is a major monster hunter in Marvel Comics, powered up by the Bloodstone itself. It gives her enhanced strength, agility, some healing, and even protection from things like vampire bites. In newer storylines, she can even shoot energy blasts with it. Her whole deal is simple: track down monsters and wipe out evil wherever it hides. While she's not one of Marvel's A-listers, she's still been part of some big crossover moments, especially as one of the original members of the Midnight Suns. Doctor Strange even called on her when he needed backup fighting a powerful demonic threat, which says a lot about her reputation in the supernatural world. But what makes Elsa stand out is how different she is from her father. Ulysses saw monsters as things to kill. Elsa, on the other hand, doesn't seem to have that same mindset. Her connection with characters like Jack Russell and Man-Thing hints that she might be more interested in protecting or helping monsters rather than hunting them down. That kind of shift in perspective could make her a unique figure in the MCU's growing supernatural corner. As the MCU dives deeper into darker, monster-filled stories, Elsa's role could become more important, maybe even crossing paths with other mystical heroes like Blade. She's not just carrying her family's legacy, she might be completely rewriting it. Right now, Marvel hasn't officially confirmed any future appearances for Elsa Bloodstone. It seems Werewolf by Night was more of a surprise hit than Marvel expected. If they'd known how well it would be received, we might have already had a follow-up Halloween special with Elsa or Man-Thing sooner. That said, now that they've seen the fan interest, there are plenty of places she could turn up next. The most obvious is the Blade movie, which, believe it or not, is still going to happen. It's had its fair share of delays, but Elsa would make a perfect addition, maybe as a foil to Blade himself, clashing over his all monsters must die approach. Their connection could even go deeper, possibly through her father, which could set up a cool dynamic and even tease a Midnight Suns crossover. If Marvel wants to stick with TV, Elsa could show up in the rumored Strange Academy show or even the confirmed Vision Quest show. And if we ever get a second season of Moon Knight, Elsa could easily fit in there too. She'd bring solid action energy to Moon Knight. There's also the animated route. A version of Elsa could appear in Marvel Zombies. Imagine a twist where she joins the Avengers or helps take down undead supervillains. Because she's not tied to one specific franchise, Elsa can pop up in all sorts of stories, making her one of the most flexible characters Marvel has introduced in a while. Michael Giacchino, who directed Werewolf by Night, recently opened up about a future of the characters and whether he'll get another shot at telling more of their story. He admitted he has some wild ideas for what could happen next with Elsa Bloodstone, Jack Russell, and the others, but like with anything in Hollywood, it all comes down to funding. There's always talk, he said, but until someone decides to put money behind it, it's all just ideas for now. He really wants to continue with these characters, and he's got some pretty crazy and nuts plans in mind, but nothing's official. As he put it, hopefully one day. So while Giacchino would love to return to this spooky corner of the MCU, it's not really his call. In a recent chat with Den of Geek, Laura Donnelly talked about the possibility of returning as Elsa Bloodstone in the MCU after Werewolf by Night. While Michael Giacchino's special was mostly treated as a one-off, Donnelly made it clear she's totally on board to come back. Her response was pretty straightforward. I would do anything that they would let me do. If they call me and tell me what I'm doing, I'll be very happy. I have no idea though. That one's above my pay grade. But yeah, she's part of all of these different team-ups and I love the idea of that. So while nothing's locked in yet, Donnelly's enthusiasm is clear. She's into the idea of Elsa joining up with different teams in the MCU. Maybe the Midnight Suns, maybe something else. It's all up to Marvel now. Well, that's it for today. Do you want to see Elsa Bloodstone lead her own series or team in the MCU? Let me know in the comments and hit subscribe for more updates on Marvel's dark side. We'll see you next time.